So the Digitakt II just got a massive update, adding a new version of the slice machine with proper sample chopping. And this update got me thinking, what's it like going back to the original Digitakt workflow in 2025? I've been using it for years, and while the slice machine on that is a bit limited compared to the 2, it still holds up in a lot of ways. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you how I make it work for sample flips and how you can make the most out of it. Let's get into it. So I've got a couple samples here. This is a beat from some vinyl I sampled, and then this is a little guitar improv I did. And if you want to get these samples, they're up for channel members. So to start, let's go to the drums first, and we're going to hit function source. We'll drop down to slice, and then we're going to set, I think, probably 8. Let's go into keyboard. That's what we want, yeah. Now this is more of a 4 on the floor, but I think we're going to use it for some boom bap. So let's drop it about 1 semitone and see if that kind of slows it down a little. Now the thing with the slice mode on the Digitakt I, you can see where the slices are, and as we make changes to the amount of slices, you can see what's changing. But you can't actually move the slices, so it's not true sample chopping. If you put something in that's a loop, 4 bars straight or 2 bars straight, like this one starts and ends, when you start doing 16th step, 32 step and things like that, you will get some nuance and you will get chops, and then you just want to find the chops that fit. Now originally I was thinking we might use those hi-hats as they are and get that kind of shuffle groove, but I'm also thinking as I did that 8 or 16, it actually puts that slice right there. So we can actually get even more of a groove. That's almost like a little roll. Yeah, let's use that. Because this is a drummer, you can find different snares, right? I think that 5 is my favorite. All right, let's record that. And let's nudge that a little early. Then we'll do some sound design. Up the resonance on the frequency for the filter. Can even put a little envelope. And then my favorite, get that overdrive on. So from there, let's go to that guitar. So what we're gonna do is again, go into our slice, and I think we'll do maybe 16. And then what I want to do, sometimes it's really cool if you kind of do that like chipmunk style. Let's do 8 because we're almost there and I'm lazy. So what I'm doing, let me break it down again, because now we're on a melodic sample. So it's pretty much the same as the drum. Chop it, either do 8, 16, 32, whatever, but then find the sounds, right? Like I instantly went here, I found 3, I was like, I like 3. That has kind of that in-between chord sound, so I needed to find a start chord. 5 worked well for that. And then I just kind of feel around for the rest of the chords. Those sound cool together. And we know that first one's good, so I just kind of went with. So from there, we'll record that in, and we're gonna need that to be probably 32 steps. So I'm gonna just extend the length. Actually, I think we're gonna do 64 because I wanna get all those variations. When it comes to the sample chops, I don't like to just keep playing the same one. I like to actually add some variation. So let's do it that way, and let's get that click back on. So with a little quantize, here's what we got. We gotta fix those drums though. So let's go like here. Like this one is pretty off. And I think what we're actually gonna do is, let's up that BPM a little bit. Sometimes it's good to record at a slower BPM, then up it. I'm finding though, as we play it, samples, the hi-hats sit a little bit better. Okay, now we need to go over to the guitar sound, and now is where we're gonna make that guitar sound a lot better. With some filter. Okay, so apparently my camera stopped recording there for a bit. So I'm gonna run through the couple of changes that I made while it was not recording, and then we're gonna do a couple more things. So first off, if we go over to that melodic sample again, I made a couple changes. I added some delay and reverb. Of course, I added overdrive and then some bit reduction to really make it sound old and just kind of destroyed. So this sample is up for channel members, but if you want to get some lo-fi and boom bap ready guitar loops, check out my new Jazzy Jam sample pack. It's 16 live guitar loops put through gritty samplers like the PO33 and the SP404 to give it that dusty budget bin record sound. The link is in the description, and thanks for supporting the channel. That's usually my trick on the Digitakt. I find things are typically more cold in there, and then the biggest thing is I put the filter about halfway, added a little envelope with that sort of ADSR, so what happens is the filter moves up because of the envelope really quickly and then ducks back down to where it is. But the key thing that I did was I put an LFO on the filter frequency, and it's just the stock one with just about 10 depth. What that's gonna do is every time it hits, the filter is actually moving around a bit. You can't see it, but that's what the LFO is doing. So every hit has a different sort of envelope sound because the envelope will hit at one point here on the filter. At another part, the LFO's got the filter here, and so the envelope opens up from that spot. So it just adds a lot of variety and variation, and I just like that, especially when you're working with a combined sample. It works really well to just really add a lot of variation. You could also put some LFO on the pitch, but I'm not gonna do that right now. Now, over on the drums, you'll see we changed that filter to actually be a high-pass filter, and that's because I'm going for that boom bap style. So I actually did a per step automation or program change on every step where the snare hits. I moved the high pass to cut off all of that low end. So if we solo the drums, you'll hear there's no kick really hitting. I mean, there is still the kick hitting, we've just kind of ducked it out. Now there is one snare that still has some of that low end. You'll hear on this last one, I didn't put that in yet. That's when I realized the camera stopped. So check out this one when it comes. Hear how there's still that kind of low end? So we're actually gonna go in, and I did about 50, and we're gonna just put that there. And now if we run through it, see, it cuts out all that low end. The other thing that I did, every time a snare hits, I add some reverb because I just wanted a little bit of reverb every time the snare hits to add a little more something back in. Since we took out so much of that low end, it gives a little low end back in the form of reverb, but not like a kick sound. So that's everything I wanted to do with this. This is an awesome workflow. You have some serious limitations with slicing on the original Digitakt. You could try to make up for certain things, like if you want to move where the slice actually hits. The only way to really do that is once it's programmed, you can nudge the actual hit on the step to the left or right. So if there's silence at the start and you're trying to get rid of that silence, move it to the left so that the silence actually starts earlier and the hit will be closer to being on the grid or the part that you want it. It's not perfect, and the Digitakt II solves seemingly all of the problems I have with slice mode and just the Digitakt I in general. But it's a whole other $1,000 purchase, and I think the price has actually gone up to be $1,150. So if you've got the Digitakt I or you're looking at the used market to get a Digitakt I, even if you can't do the crazy sample chopping that the 2 has, there is still a lot to love on this machine. I still use it all the time, and I use this workflow not just for boom bap, but for synthwave, even ambient. Its limitation is actually kind of my favorite thing about it because I can't do sample chopping, so I have to just kind of make it work, use the amp envelope, the filter envelope, LFOs to kind of just like get something out of it, and I find the end result is really unique for what I typically do. So anyways, that's all for today. If you want to see more Digitakt beat making, check out this video next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.